In today's video, I toured every single plot I own in Bloxburg. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now before we get into it, I do have to say, please ignore this disgusting looking slime grass. Honestly, I've tried to recolor the snow so it looks like grass so I can film this, but it looks so weird. Like, what is this? It looks a bit like Play-Doh. Like, it's so lumpy, but yeah, we're gonna have to kind of, you know, put up with that today. But it is finally the new year, which means of course another plot tours video. I'm gonna be touring every single plot I have, and last year in January of 2025 I actually did one of these, and at the time I had 35 plots in that video. However, fast forward to now, somehow I have 77 plots. I seem to have managed to double the amount of plots I have. So because of that, we are basically going to try and tour them as quickly as possible. I'm going to speedrun this and try and not yap too much. And also, I know all of your attention spans suck anyways, so you'll probably prefer me going a bit quicker, but that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. I also have already filmed this video twice, or attempted to, and both times something was going on with my microphone, so I'm having to redo this. So basically, all of these, hang on, let me find where I started from. Starting from like here upwards, I already toured all of these, but I'm obviously gonna have to do them again. And then we also have like tons at the bottom, so I'm basically just gonna have to go through these. Maybe I'll just start at the bottom again. Oh yeah, don't know if I'm gonna be showing you guys that one, but I think we're just gonna start all the way from the bottom. However, the ones that were at the bottom are now at the top, if that makes sense, because I messed everything up. It doesn't matter, it's fine. Anyways, if we go all the way down to the bottom of my plots, we actually have a bunch of pre-built, so I'm not gonna tour these, but we have like Blossom Boutique, Barnyard Bash, Perfectly Pastel, like Dainty Dwelling. There's tons and tons of them. Valley Vogue, Beachside Bliss, like these are just basically a bunch of the existing pre-builds. But starting with my actual builds, the first one we have at the bottom right now is the bunker, which already I'm excited for. Like, I love touring my plots because I feel like it's such kind of like a nostalgic thing. Oh look, great, we have the grass. Anyways, now this plot here was from June, because this was obviously the bunker I made in the video where we were preparing for the meteor to hit the old map. So this is pretty much it. It's kind of a small one. We had like supplies. This was like my radio station. I don't know why I had this stuff on the board. I had like all the meteor evidence and then a picture of myself, as everyone does. Like a radio I made, just a bunch of like survival supplies. We had like a cute little living room area. This was everything I wanted to take for memories from the old map. So I had like all the Bloxburg elves, obviously, like the town hall, the alien, loads of food and stuff. And then we had, I think this was a kitchen. Yeah, this is like a little kitchen area. This was a storage room, which I just filled with beans and then a singular muffin. Sounds about right. And then I think this was a bedroom. I think we had a bedroom and a bathroom. Yeah, so this had like two little sleeping bags. We had my two cats, Hump and Belle, obviously. And then we had a little bathroom. Why did I make the curtain yellow? But that's kind of it. That was like our little survival base. That is it for the bunker. I kind of missed that time. Like, the meteor thing was so fun. But moving on, the next thing we have is Starter Home Revamp Copy. And I'm pretty sure I know what this is. And it's not pretty to look at all. Because this was not my oh, here we go. This wasn't my doing. I let Bandit and like Riot build on a plot, and they just basically destroyed a copy of one of my builds. So I'm pretty sure he was trying to make the up house, considering the old guy from up. Why is there a My Little Pony and then like all the balloons on the roof? But we'll just have a little look at this. They've chained the house down. There's a protein powder. There's an outdoor shower. What does this say? Sub to regain Riot. I hate Riot. Okay, I think we know who wrote this. We have rusty pink trees. If we go inside, oh my god, they deleted half my flowers. I am actually going to be touring the original build later because I have that on a plot too, but this is your impression of it right now. If we go inside, there's just a grand piano and like rust everywhere. There's weights and like gym equipment and like, oh my god, you can see all like the half deleted stuff. What were they doing? There's a there's a camera in the kitchen with like a giant flat screen TV just like right here whilst you cook. Just right here. Yeah, you can watch your cooking tutorials and turn around and do the same. I feel like this is like break your neck to try and look at this. That's what they did to the kitchen. And then the bedroom and bathroom. The bedroom has a football goal in the closet with a football and more weights. And then the bathroom, they put a hole in the wall and deleted everything. Okay, nice. Why is there a shower in the shower? But yeah, that is pretty much what Bandit and Riot did to one of my builds. Interesting approach. Swiftly moving on, the next build we have, oh my god, my fish build. So I never actually posted what you're about to see, but basically, if you know the Roblox game Fish, when that was incredibly popular last year, I actually started making, oh my god, I started making Moosewood Island and I didn't finish it, but guys, you cannot tell me me that this doesn't look accurate. I spent so long on this, and then I went on a break, and when I came back to YouTube, fish was dead. So I was just like, okay, there's probably no point in posting this if no one's gonna watch it, but I built like a completely accurate fish moosewood island, like down to every single detail, down to all like the little rocks and the pillows on the floor. I did everything. Look how good this was as well. I made like the fishing rods with all the effects on them, and I was just so proud of this. I still am. I should maybe finish it. I like built all of this area. I just basically didn't do the buildings. That was kind of all I had left, I'm pretty sure. But honestly, this is one of my top builds ever, I think. It just looks so good. So that's pretty much what this is. Let me know if you want to see me finish this. I feel like I don't have the footage of the original build anymore though, so it would have to kind of start from here, but that's pretty much what fish is. Next we have Macabre Mansion, which is actually one of the Halloween pre-builds, so I'm not going to tell that. But then we have a plot called First Build, and I'm pretty sure this is from back in November. Oh my gosh, here we go. So this was basically from a video I did in November, which was recreating my first ever build like 6 years later, and it's such a good video. Go and watch that if you haven't. I actually think this came out really nicely, especially if you've seen the original mess. But it's pretty much just a little modern house. So we have like a kitchen in there, we have dining room, living room area, the bedroom in here. Kind of simple, but if you saw the original, you would definitely agree with me that it's an upgrade. Also, I don't know what they did, but my tiles kind of glitched out. It's got like a modern kind of garden at the back. I just think it looks really cute. I was very proud of this one. There was also like, yeah, there's like a little pantry room, but it's pretty much just a recreation of the first ever build I ever posted on YouTube. Definitely an upgrade. I think it's kind of cute. Okay, next we have one just called Empty Plot with 115k kind of budget, and there's going to be a lot of like plots called Empty Plot that I just have no idea what I'm going to spawn into. Oh, a wall. Wait, what on earth is this? Hang on. Oh wait, I know what this is. This is the set for my Christmas movie that was in the Bloxburg theater, the Elf Hunt. So basically, if we start over here, is there even a door to get in this one? Did I just seal it off? Basically, this was Santa's kind of office scene, and then what I had to do was, because we filmed this before the Christmas update, I had to put snow like machines on basic shapes and turn them upside down, so from inside it actually looked like it was snowing outside, because I didn't have snow in the game. But that is kind of like the set for that. And then this was the Christmas Santa's workshop I made for it, but I don't actually think this ended up being shown, because obviously the movies have to be under a minute, so you're kind of very restricted to how many clips you have in there. So I don't think you guys saw this, but I also built this little thing. That's pretty much it for this one. I have a lot of like random movie kind of plots. Next we have Garland Grotto, and I'm pretty sure this is my pre-built, my Christmas pre-built for the game, but I feel like the price is a bit weird, so I just want to check this isn't something else. Okay, yeah, it's just my Christmas pre-built Garland Grotto with a bunch of bathtubs on it. Next we have Halloween food, and I am getting PTSD from even reading this. So if anyone remembers, why did I just load twice? Did anyone else see that? So if anyone remembers, back in October I actually did a food giveaway where I gave away like 12,000 food items or something, and I do still have some, but this was spares. But this was pretty much it. This is how I organized that giveaway. I basically had tables at the time, they went all the way back to like the back of the plot, just full of food, and then I had like the picture on the front of what everything was, and this is kind of how I organized it. But yeah, it was crazy when we actually had like everything. Why is there a bunch of presents? Oh my gosh, let's do an unboxing. Oh yeah, if anyone's wondering what that like floating island is as well, this is where I have a bunch of Christmas food, because at one point we were gonna do a Christmas version of the giveaway too, but this took months of work, so it would have been like physically impossible. I've never been so stressed in my life. But let's unbox a present. I'm pretty sure this was Lawan's doing. We'll take this one. Let's see what... Oh, great. Thanks, Lawan. Wait, I also want to open the red one too. Why is there a melon? What is inside this one? A pear? Oh, wow. He's really treating us today. But yeah, this is one of my many food organizing plots. Then next we have 2 empty plots that definitely aren't empty. So let's take a look at these things. I probably should be renaming these as I go. I kind of forgot. Okay, what is this? Genuinely, what is that? Oh, wait. This is the start of a new Bloxburg movie theater build that I'm maybe doing. I'm not going to promise you, because obviously we know I did that part 1 of a theater a couple of years ago, and then I didn't finish it, and everyone's been crying at me for it. There is someone in my comment section, the only thing they comment is glossie when you're finishing the theater, and I've told them so many times I deleted it, but they're not having it. So if you're watching this, then surprise, I might be doing another one just for you. But the next, where is it? The next empty plot, this one only costs 2k, so I think this is going to be pretty much empty. Let's see what this... Oh, this is another thing I can't show you guys because it's for a future video and I don't want to spoil this one. I'm gonna blur this. I feel like you'll be able to work it out just by the sheer bright colors on this through the blur, but this is something else I'm, you know, working on. Next we have my real house build. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry at this one. Guys, can you hear this? It's my lip gloss. Anyways, this is a build I did of my old real life house. I don't live here anymore, but obviously, as you guys have clocked, this video isn't up anymore, but this is pretty much what it looked like. It was like a near identical replica of the house I used to live in that I moved out of last year, and oh my god, I miss it so much. My room was up here, so you can see like my room and everything, all my old records, my old view out the window, oh my god, my bathroom and everything. It's honestly crazy to look at because this genuinely does look so accurate. But yeah, I like furnished it and everything, but this is pretty much it. It's just basically like a replica of my old house. Here we have the living room. Oh my god, the apples. For some reason, every single time I post a picture which has these apples, we have like these fake apples on the table. Everyone goes crazy. We had like the conservatory. This was where my two little cats would sleep. They had like a bed in here. Oh my god, the kitchen. Many of you will recognize this exact view from some of my very old baking videos, but yeah, but that's pretty much it. It was just like a house replica. The next one we have is another empty plot, but this time it's actually empty, so we are going to move on to the pencil house, which, shocker, is a house in the shape of a pencil. Oh my god, who would have thought? I built this back in September because it was meant to kind of be like when the school was coming out for a school themed video, but basically, should we go inside and show it? Because I think this one was kind of cool. All of the different rooms were a different school subject, so this one was a living room, and this was meant to be kind of media themed, so I had like a kind of like a movie studio, and then the second floor, this was the kitchen, so I went with the chemistry lab theme, which I actually think is my favorite floor. I think this is pretty cool. Then the third floor, this has the bathroom, and I went for like a swimming class, so it's like the bathtub had like the rows for like the pool lanes, and we had like a waterfall, and it was meant to look like a swimming lesson kind of area. And then the top floor is the bedroom, and I feel like this was art. Yes, it was. So this one was kind of not that detailed, but we basically had like books and like paint and kind of art stuff. This was meant to be like paper crafts on the ceiling. It was meant to just be very art themed, but that was pretty much it. The roof of this was also so difficult to do, but I think it was kind of cute. The back, oh my god, I really didn't fit anything in properly, but yeah, that is my pencil house. Moving on to the next plot called Flam Room. Here we go. This was basically the plot from when I built a room in the theme of the YouTuber Flamingo. So first of all, this thing back here was a random house plan. I can't even remember why I made this, but if we go down here, this was my Flamingo bedroom. I really wanted to do a series where I made Bloxburg rooms in the theme of YouTubers, but this video did terribly, so I really just kind of pretended this didn't happen. I built like a flamingo themed bed. We had like plushies made from his old characters, so like Green Screen Man, Sammy the Strawberry. We had a building tools themed light because obviously he used those in his admin abuse videos. We had kind of like the street names. Over here we had his YouTube play button and like a desk setup. Cletus, a frame with Dennis Daly in it. I did so much research to kind of find like references. Flamingo plush, we had beans, we had the skateboards in his office, Earthworm Sally, and then that little rat thing, Ratatouille. I made like posters and everything. Guys, I literally went so hard on this and no one really cared. And then in the closet we just had yeah, the Dark Ages, but I think this was so cool. I really wanted to do a series where I kind of built YouTubers' bedrooms, but you guys really just didn't like it. Next we actually have my Halloween stock plot. So this is basically just where I store all my Halloween stuff, and as per usual, I'm an absolute hoarder because who needs this many pumpkins? I have like a crazy amount. So this is basically one of every pumpkin. We have like one of like every single item. There's my Halloween car. I have a ton of the bikes. We have just tons and tons of stuff. Oh my god, the floating candles are so cute. Why is there just, I have a random heart and pumpkin plushie just in the middle of the empty space. And then this is where I put everything from my inventory that wouldn't fit in the lines. I kind of just chucked it over here. Why do I feel like I have so many plots just storing things? Oh my gosh. Okay, next we have a good one. We have my racetrack, which was obviously from my racetrack kind of like building series. Oh my goodness. Still to this day, this is one of the coolest builds I've ever done. Look at the cat. This thing was absolutely incredible. Obviously this was based off my old cat, but this was my glossy themed racetrack, and we're actually going to do like a loop around it so I can kind of talk you through everything. So obviously at the start we have my old cat, and then you kind of start driving, and all of the little kind of like viewing places are themed around my different Bloxburg businesses. So this one was based on Gelato La Gloss, my ice cream store. We also had like records and stuff for my record store, and if we keep driving around, we have like splotches of lip gloss everywhere. We have a giant lip gloss there, and then we have my crown, and you go like down into this tunnel, which was meant to be like a lip gloss tunnel, and then it brings you into like a little kind of outdoor area. Then we have more lip gloss, and you kind of go up here and you were in the giant lip gloss bottle that took me far too long to build, and then you go back down and it takes you into this area, which was modeled off Glossette Gardens, which is actually a plot we're going to be touring later. Ignore the giant ice cream scoop. But we have like Glossette Gardens, and then if we go back out of here and around this bend, I keep crashing into everything, we have this little seating area which was themed around the diner. Then we have another one over here, and this was meant to be, I think, based on Gliggle, my stationery store, but that is pretty much it. That is my racetrack. I'm a terrible driver. Oh my god, wait, I've just realized as well, I made it in the shape of a G for Glossie. Genuinely such a cool build. I'm so happy with this. Okay, next we have my time machine plot, which is of course where I keep my time machine. We have a motorbike, and then we have my time machine over here. And if you don't know what this is, then a few weeks ago I did a video where I basically time traveled back to the old Bloxburg map. Honestly, such a cool video. Out of any of the videos I recommend in this one, you should definitely go watch that one. But yeah, it's basically like a little time machine, and then if we open this, we have the place where I stood to time travel, and then like a little calculator thing to put the date in. But that's what this is. It's just my little time machine. Hopefully I'll be using that in the future. Okay, the next two are two I'm currently working on for videos, so I'm not going to show you guys these, but I feel like you can definitely guess what they are by the title. But the next one we have is Capborough Victorian, and this one is pretty much this gorgeous Victorian house built by Capto. So Capto, if you guys remember when I was in his hide and seek at one point and I won, I got to pick whatever video I wanted for him to make. So he made a pink Victorian house for another video that was on my plot, and this thing is genuinely the coolest thing I have. Honestly, the details on this thing are gorgeous. He's such an incredible builder. If I go up to here, look at all this. He like made all of this to swell. It's so cute. Like if we go in here, we have like the older kind of kitchen style. I love the kitchen in here. We have the dining room, loads of rooms in here. Honestly, there's so much to look at. A little kind of living room, a little kind of seating area. We have rooms up here, one of them which is a glossy shrine, so there's just pictures of me everywhere. Kind of cute though, like who wouldn't want this? But yeah, it's just like a really detailed Victorian house. Next we have glossmas 2, and this is actually all of my glossmas builds from I think 2024. Yeah, this is pretty much every Christmas build I did in 2024 glossmas, and this is my favorite gingerbread house I've ever done. Obviously I make one every single year, but I don't think I'll ever be able to top this one because it's just the cutest little thing. I love it. I think I prefer the interior of the 2025 gingerbread house, but exterior wise, this one is just so beautiful. And then we also have like this stuff, which is from a build hacks video I did. I made giant versions of some of the Christmas food. We have another Polar Express. Obviously 2025 I did finally post one, but this is one I was working on in 2024 that I never actually posted or anything. So this is kind of what this looks like. And then we have my present house, which is another one of my favorite Christmas builds ever because it's just so cute. And then inside, I don't know what's going on with the floor. Inside was all present themed. We had all the bows on like the cabinets. We had like a name tag for the kitchen island, and everything is just covered in like presents and wrapping paper. And then finally we have my igloo. So I built like not an igloo, a snow globe, but it has an igloo inside of it. So I built a snow globe. There is actually a way to get inside of it there, but the inside is like a little igloo thing, which is very cozy. But yeah, that is pretty much all of my Christmas builds from a couple of years ago. Next we have empty, which once again is not empty. So let's go see what this is. Oh, I know what this is. It's kind of like half loaded, so ignore the windows, but this is a random house plan I was working on at one point, and I have another one that's pretty similar to it. So right now I just have like two house plans that look kind of the same. So honestly, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, this is kind of like a big mansion thing I'm working on for a project, which you guys will see eventually, maybe. Okay, next we have two more pre-builts. We have one which is Rosegate Residence, and then we have the Bloxington Mansion. And we're actually going to look at the Bloxington Mansion because this is actually one of the old pre-builts that isn't actually in the game. And did anyone else see that? The pool balls just flew from... Okay, whatever. Anyways, this is one that isn't in game anymore because this is one of the original pre-builts you used to be able to buy because I actually have all of them saved. So this is pretty much what it looks like. It's very old Bloxburg. If we go inside, as you can tell by the lack of lights on the ceiling or at all, it's so old. It's crazy. I remember thinking this was like such a huge mansion, but yeah, it's just like a bungalow mansion. It's so crazy to look at. Oh my god. It's so nostalgic. I have a few of the old pre-builts that we're going to be looking at later in the video. Then of course it had like the little garden area and everything with a pool. Where have they gone now? Where have those balls gone? They're not even like underneath. I'm so confused. Are they in the sky or something? No. Okay, I have no idea what's going on there, but yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. Okay, next we have a plot called Christmas Cottage, and I'm pretty sure this was a build that I didn't post because I didn't finish it. Yeah, here we go. So this was actually a cottage I was working on like last month that was meant to be Christmas themed. It kind of looks disgusting because I never finished it, but I basically was like slowly making a little kind of cottage. I think it was turning out kind of cute. Like I did a custom like table and everything. It was meant to be very cozy, and then like all the ceilings up here were slanted, but I just never got around to finishing it before Christmas. But that is pretty much it for that. It's not really that interesting. Okay, now we have glossmas 3. So this was all the Christmas builds from 2025, so like last month. And by Christmas builds, I mean we have 2. There's not really many, but we have my gingerbread house from this year, which was actually really cute. I love the addition this year of like the cookies and everything, but yeah, this one, I still think I prefer the exterior from 2024. However, the interior of this one, I think is so cute. We had like the gumball machine lamp and everything, the tablecloth made of snow. I love the kitchen in here with like the chocolate kind of counter and everything. It's so cute. And then upstairs, we had a bathroom with a candy floss bath, obviously, and then the actual bedroom up here as well. But yeah, this was the gingerbread house for last year. And then we also have my big Polar Express build. So this one was far more detailed than the one before. I think this looks so cool. We have like the front of the carriage, we have the little kind of driving area, the coal up here, and then we have the actual carriage itself, which right now was set up for a filming I did because I also posted a short as well as the building video where we basically recreated the hot chocolate dance, so that was really fun. But this is the inside of the cabin. The back of it looks pretty cool, and that is pretty much it. That is it for the Christmas builds on this plot. Okay, what do we have next? The next one we have is the main glossmas plot. I have so many of these. So what this actually is it's basically, first of all, where the glossmas calendar is. So obviously every Christmas I'll give you guys a shout out at the start of every video, and we kind of like open the doors on the calendar, and this is where I keep it. So we have the calendar, then all of the calendar doors that I take off behind it. We also have a bunch of food everywhere because this is also the plot we use for the elf hunt. So we have like one of every single food in the game over here. We have like tons of Christmas food over here, then a bunch of food at the back as well. So this is basically where me and my staff kind of like do the elf hunt. We have 4 snowmen that someone made out of nowhere. We have all of our motorbikes that I had to color code because everyone kept stealing each other's, and a bunch of other kind of things. We have these, which were actually kind of gifts that my staff gave me like 3 years ago, and that's pretty much it. This is just kind of like the elf hunt and glossmas kind of main plot, which I miss already. I feel like Christmas was so long ago. It's not even been a month yet. Okay, I feel like we're getting into the more interesting ones, especially this mysterious plot. But yeah, I feel like there's some good ones coming up, and as well we have these ones, which are the ones I toured in the video footage that I had to delete, so we have to do these ones again. But starting with the next one, which is called movie set. I actually don't know what this is because I have so many movie sets that I just name movie set, which is so much help. Oh, okay, wait, this is my Glossbusters town hall. Okay, first of all, ignore the picture of Harry Styles. I'm gonna guess that was Peaches doing, but this is basically the set from Glossbusters, the big town hall, and this must be one of my favorite sets of all time, not only because it genuinely looks so accurate, but also me and my friends play hide and seek in this thing all the time. We basically play sardines where someone hides and then we all have to try and find them and then hide with them. It's just so entertaining. But this is pretty much the inside, so it was all decorated for the Halloween party in the movie. We had like the library, the town hall library down here, which doesn't have a ceiling right now. Honestly, this thing looks so crazy from above. There's so many different areas. I don't think I can even tour this. There's not really anything down here. You can get under the floor though. People love to hide down here. The main kind of area of this is up the stairs because this is like the old section where we were being chased by the pumpkin goblins. This sounds like a fever dream if you haven't watched the movie, okay? Go watch it. So we have like the older area. If I go this way, we have like the town hall office. Then we have this, which was the main area the ghost was haunting. We have the ghost trap, which he's still into this day. We have down here, this is like a room into a different area. And if I go down these stairs, this is actually where the scene was filmed at the back where they break the window and break in. So it kind of takes you into here and then it's like stairs up. What else do we have? We have like a living room in here. We have a bathroom in here. There's so many doors that just lead to nothing. It's just like a sheer drop. A lot of people's favorite area in this is the kitchen. So I'll show you guys this quickly before we go. If I go all the way down here, the kitchen is like right on the other side. Here we go. So this is the kitchen set. It's just like a very rundown kitchen. Then we have the dining room, which was built by Alicia, I'm pretty sure. This bit over here was the hallway where we had like the Scooby-Doo moment where they were kind of like chasing each other through the doors, but that is pretty much it. It's just like a huge town hall building. It's actually so fun to kind of like run around in. Next, we have Xmas stock, and we all know what this is, which is gonna take a minute to load in because this thing is absolutely huge, but I feel like I do need to kind of cut down on the plots I'm using because this is like an insane amount to tour. Like, how am I gonna do this for next year when I've doubled it again? I already feel like I'm losing my voice, but yeah, this is all of my Christmas stock. So obviously I have like a million of every item because I love Christmas, but it's kind of satisfying to look at. Okay, next we have a plot called Do Not Open, and this is worth 16.4 million. And unfortunately, it means what it says on the name. I genuinely can't show you guys this. This is a secret and I can't tell you, so we're gonna move on to random stock next. But this one really does live up to its name because it's just a bunch of random stuff everywhere. So I have like Valentine's, mostly all of like my Bloxburg items are saved on here. We have a bunch of New Year's, which I actually need to stock up on because I think that's leaving today as well. But that's kind of what this is. We have all my bugs as well. I feel like I really need to organize this one. It's so atrocious compared to my really neat like seasonal ones. Oh my god, I have my little rats as well. But yeah, this is just a bunch of random stuff. You know what I'm gonna go do? I'm gonna very quickly go and stock up on my New Year's stuff, and then we will continue on with the touring. Okay, we are now on my next plot, which is actually the mini town set, and this is another movie set from Glossbusters. So this is actually leading on from the town hall one. So basically how I filmed this was, imagine the town hall being like right here. So it was meant to be kind of like when we were filming on this plot, I was filming from this angle with this kind of like metal barrier, and then I filmed on the other plot with the same metal barrier but from this angle looking at the town hall. So it was meant to kind of look like a giant plot together. I tried to kind of like be clever about it, but this is basically my mini version of Bloxburg. So obviously this is still stuck in Halloween because it was a Halloween movie, but we had like a BFF supermarket recreation which looks pretty much identical from the outside. However, the inside was basically like my own design. So we had like a fruit section, loads of different shelves. Basically think of BFF we have in the map, but just like 10 times more detailed, like they're, you know, actually selling stuff in here. Then the rest of them were kind of just for show. So if I actually go over here, you will also see that none of these doors actually work. I had to put basic shapes in it that was slightly transparent to kind of make the windows more foggy so you couldn't see straight in because the detail was just too much. But we have like a mini green clean, we had a mini fancy furniture. This one actually had like rooms inside of it. We had a Bloxburgers that was empty because you couldn't really see anything in there. We also had an empty Beats nightclub, which is, you know, the only Beats nightclub left in the game now, rest in peace. Styles hair studio, which was my favorite because I actually think this looks kind of cute inside. A mini Bloxburg gym, and then finally we had Eva's craft emporium, which was like this craft store for one of the characters. I just think this is pretty cool. I think this one's quite adorable, but that is it for that one. The next one we have is called Food Factory, and this is basically where I store all of my in-game food. So this is the biggest stock plot I have at the moment. Over here I have all my seasonal stuff, and I basically make sure I have a long table of everything. So it works out at like 45 items per table, but this is like Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's, we have my New Year's cakes, and then this is every single food in the game, although I think it's slightly outdated. So this is all of like the main meals, then this is all the quick meal things, and basically every food from around the map. So we even have like Ben's ice cream, all the different jams you can make. Like I have literally everything. And at the bottom, this is where I keep like all of the limited food. So we have all the boba that is only in for seasonal updates, and then we have all of the PNDA items, which were obviously only in game once. So these are pretty much the rarest food in the game. Then of course I have like a huge cooking station, but yeah, this is just basically another crazy food plot. Then we have I needed to sneeze. Then we have trophies, and you'll never guess what's on this one. Here's my only, I was gonna make a joke about me only having a singular wall, but I decided to load in. This is where I keep all of my beautiful trophies. So I actually only have one job trophy, but I have pretty much every other trophy in the game, except from the jobs and the infamous lightning trophy. But we have like all of the kind of logging in ones. We have all the old RB battles, the meteor, the 1 billion visits, 5 billion visits, all the skills, the April Fool's trophies, all the ducks over here, which I love so much, Halloween, Christmas, and then the elephant of course gets its own cabinet, and then I have the map as well. But yeah, this is just my trophy collection. I actually want to build a build this year which will display these. So next up we have movie studio. Now I'm pretty sure I showed this plot back in the last video. I'm not too sure if I kept it a secret, but I'm in the process of making a movie studio, and by in the process I mean I've had this floor plan here for like 2 years, but this year I've actually finally decided I'm actually gonna make it pretty soon. So I already have like the sketches and the designs ready. I am not gonna spoil it, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So I'm not gonna kind of go into the floor plan too in depth, but we're gonna have like trailers back here. These are gonna be like the big movie filming areas, and then in here we have like a bunch of rooms for different things, but you guys will just have to wait and see because I've kind of been putting a lot of effort into like sketching out the design for this one because I feel like it's gonna be a good thing to use in the future. But where's my next plot? The next one we have is my detective agency, but this is actually the old detective agency. Obviously in 2025 I built my new one. However, there is other sets on this as well, but starting with the old detective agency, I feel like I've shown quite a few times now. This is what it used to look like. So as you can see, there's like boxes and stuff, and I'm like moving out of it because I think this is for like a tweet or something. But this is like, oh my gosh, yeah, the last time I used it was for the school update. So we had like all my old boards, all my surveillance cameras in here. We had like a staff room in here. We had like an office space. It was never fully finished, but it's kind of cute. We had the lava jump. So this floor actually has lava underneath, and you had to jump over to get into it, or just use, you know, the secret door on the wall, but you didn't know about that. We had my cozy little prison cell, my kind of interrogation room, and then we had the secret vault, which I never got around to using either, but that is the old detective agency. However, we also have whatever this is. I don't know what I was doing, but I, for some reason, have escalators in a pit just leading into the middle, and I genuinely don't know why. I can't remember why I put this here, but the other things we have are two little sets. So we have the Glosscast set for my podcast that has 2 episodes because I can't think of what else to talk about. And then this is actually the set for Bloxburg monthly news. So this is where I sit. Some of you have noticed that the shelves in here are now empty, and this is because these were full of my trophies, but obviously I have those on a different plot now. So I'm not really sure what to put there because I want my trophies somewhere else. But yeah, this is the set. It's pretty empty because this is the only view you see, but that is pretty much it for this plot. This is just a bunch of sets, really. Next we have another, oh my god, 6-7. Anyways, next we have a random house plan, and I think this is the one I was talking about earlier. So I have 2 house plans that are very similar. This is basically a smaller version of the other one. So it has the same kind of whole interior floor plan, except this one I've been working on a bit more, and it doesn't have this big extension, but I don't know which one I like the best. So I'm kind of just building 2 houses that look the same at once for the super secret project I'm talking about. But yeah, this is just another house plan of mine. I've actually recently got back into house building instead of building all the random stuff I build, and I forgot how fun it is to just play Bloxburg. As weird as that sounds, because I'm so used to doing kind of like weird building projects, but I'm having a great time. Next we have Los Angeles. Oh my god, guys, I haven't discontinued it. People are spreading rumors. People keep saying, because I obviously discontinued the first Los Angeles, that I've discontinued this too because I haven't posted on it in a while. Guys, I haven't. I've just been busy, okay? But this is my city building series, Los Angeles. If you haven't seen it already, it's basically my version of Los Angeles. We have the glossy wood sign, and there's only 6 buildings in this so far, so I'll try and go in order from memory. The first one I made was Bow Bakery, which is my little bakery space. Once again, some Bloxburg update has ruined the lighting, so everything is like a flashbang. Why is the ceiling blue? I don't know what this is from. This isn't even like attached to anything that's colored. Okay, I have no idea what's going on there, but yeah, this is my bakery. And then I think the next one I did was the hair salon. So we have Gloss Styles, which is my beloved hair salon. Ari's favorite build, of course. We have like the hair areas where you wash your hair, like the styling area, the little kind of salon head things. It's so cute in here. I love it. And then the next one I did was Glossed, which is my nail salon. Oh my god, why is it so bright in here now? This is my favorite one though. I think this is so cute. I love the nail varnish wall and everything. It's very kind of calming, like spa vibes in here. This is definitely my favorite. And then after that, I think I did the school store. So if we go over here, we have the Blocks Bobbin Tailoring and Gliggle. So we have like a Gliggle stationery store, and then we have like a school uniform store. So this was obviously for the Bloxburg school. So I think it's really cool in here. I really want to use this for a video. Why is there red coming through my changing rooms? Anyways, yeah, this is the school store. Then the next one I did was the candy store Gloss Sweets, which is another one of my favorites because I just love it in here. It's so cool. We had everything made of chocolate. We had like a candy tree, like the machine, the gumball machine, all the candy jars. It's just so fun in here. And then the final one is the pink post office, which is blue. It's not even pink. Oh my god, wait, I missed the detective agency. Okay, we'll go to that in a second. But yeah, this was just a little Christmassy post office. I kind of need to take all the Christmas theme off of it because it looks really odd. But then of course we have the detective agency, which is above here. It's kind of looking rough at the moment, but I am planning on fixing this. But this is the waiting room, and then we have my actual agency in here. So we have this like oil painting of Bloxburg I did, and then we have like a bunch of stuff on the shelves. We have a picture of my first detective agency from the original Los Angeles, and then of course we have my detective board. So it's still on Christmas at the moment, but we have another seasonal update coming soon, so I will be doing another detective video. But that is pretty much it for Los Angeles so far. I do have another Los Angeles coming soon, I think, but I am having to be aware of the plot data because it's getting high again, so I may have to go and delete some things on some builds because some of them I kind of went too far and added like tiny basic shapes that I really didn't need to add. I think the floor in here will be one of the first details to go if I need plot data because each of these tiles is like 20 basic shapes. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. But moving on, next we have Home Sweet Home home, and I actually love this build, so a lot of you will probably recognize this one a little bit. So this spot here is Home Sweet Home. It's currently half fall decorated and half normal trees, but this is basically a house build I did a few years ago. I did one video doing the kitchen in it. However, this has been through so much. So at one point, this was all Halloweeny and it was all decorated in these rooms for the Ghostbusters movie. As you can see, they're now empty again. I basically had them decorated as sets for a while. This one down here is still the same. So we have the lab from Ghostbusters. Why are the Ceniola triplets here? Sophie, I know this was Sophie. You will start to see a theme eventually that a lot of my builds have these random triplet boys because somebody keeps changing all the decals. But yeah, it was decorated at one point. I got rid of it because I was meant to use this for something else. Then the kitchen has been recolored and redecorated so many times. Right now I'm actually using this for something, so I will show you a bit of upstairs because it's been redecorated again for a series that I'm working on. I don't know when it's coming, but oh my gosh, why is the bathroom so light? Here is the bathroom. This was used in one of my school get ready with me's for the kind of high school release, but this is another room down here. This is a bedroom that I'm using for something that I'm not telling you guys. I've kind of mentioned it briefly in my Discord server and stuff, but I am working on a little kind of series featuring people. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm trying to do something. I don't want to spoil it though because I don't know how it's going to go yet because it's in the early stages of planning, but it may be like a separate YouTube channel. I don't know yet, but this is the room for it. But that is pretty much it. This is basically just a house that I have been on and off working on and kind of I use for different projects a lot. So the next spots we actually have are small suburban, peaceful living, cozy cottage, and then there's another one somewhere. But basically what these are some of the original Bloxburg starter homes again. So the ones we were on about earlier. So I'm not going to show these ones because I do have a couple more of them that we will look at later. But these are basically just very old pre-builds. But next we have another plot called mini movie sets, and I can't actually remember what this one is. Oh, okay. So this is basically the sets from my mini movie The Heist that was in the Bloxburg Theatre last year. So if you want to sneak peek at this, it was basically just a street on the outside, and then inside we had this whole bank. However, everything wasn't actually connected. So in the thing, I do this thing where I go like this, and then this bit goes into like a vent, and you see the Bloxburg like kind of running through. However, there is no vent up here. Like it was basically filmed in the behind bit like this, and I just had to edit it. So it basically looked like I was going in here, but this is the vent area. And then we also have the bank vault over here as well, which also wasn't connected to a vent. So everything's kind of very mismatched, but this is pretty cool. That is basically it. It was just kind of like a little set area. And then next up, we have my most well-known build I've ever done, my dress to impress build. So we are gonna look at these. So here we go. We actually have two dress to impress builds on the spot. The first one was their summer runway from I think 2024. Both of these were 2024 now. It was so long ago, but we have this very tropical, looks pretty cute. And then obviously the main one is this giant thing here. So if I kind of zoom in here, we have the incredibly old dress to impress dressing room. Oh my gosh, this is so outdated now, but we had this area which had like the models and everything. The VIP room was so tiny. Oh my gosh, it looks so different now. We had like the old makeup and hair salon area, which looks so crazy having it in two different rooms. And also I remember at the time I built this, Lana didn't have a nail yet, so she was just like the nail lady. And when her name came out, that is when my video started getting big, and people were so mad that I didn't use her name. People were hating on me in my comments, and it was crazy. Oh yeah, I made some of the outfits too. This one by far is the best one I ever did because it looks so accurate. But we have like some of their old Christmas items. Down here we have these skin tone machines and some more of their old stuff. We have like the old Madoka set, the fur set, some really ugly looking shoes. But that is pretty much this. This is like a huge dress to impress thing. I really want to build their new map, but I'm pretty sure they're about to make a new one as well. So I'm scared to build the current one in case they suddenly update it, but let me know if you guys want another one. The next one we have is glossopoly, which was my build from a very long time ago now, where I basically built a giant working monopoly, which is obviously glossy / Bloxburg themed. So it was mainly Bloxburg themed. So we had like Co-op Court, Froggy Hops Falls, all of these stations were YouTuber themed. We have like the Panda Girl station, Feeberry station, Pizza Bread station over here. We had like French Rose's electrical company. Then all the pink ones were obviously glossy themed. So we had like lipgloss lane and stuff. Just a ton of cool little details. And then we also, like I said, had this like a functioning game. So you had like a scoreboard over here for all your properties. We would choose pineapple rings instead of money, and then the gingerbread houses for like the housing kind of like mini model things. But honestly, it's so fun. I haven't played it in so long. Someone has left a snowball. Just okay, whatever. But that is my glossopoly. And then the next build is something I know you guys kind of going to be excited to see again. Where is it? The next one we have is the infamous diner. I know Sophie's jumping for joy right now if she's watching this. And here we go. Now, unfortunately, at the minute, all of the decals on this are completely destroyed. So we have Jojo Siwa and everything everywhere. But if you don't remember what this was, then basically I built this diner in, I think, 2023. And then I deleted it. And one of my community members, Sophie, was obsessed with this thing. So she was very upset that I deleted it. And she started this whole campaign with a bunch of people. And for months, they just harassed me for the diner again. So I rebuilt this piece by piece using my own video as a reference and made it as accurate as physically possible and then surprised everyone. But yeah, this is my diner. If we go inside, it's honestly atrocious right now because everything is yeah, you can already see those strudel Staniolo triplets. Staniolo triplets here in so many decals. We have, isn't she called 6'7"? I swear her number was 6'7" and now it's a meme. But yeah, we have these guys. There's Madison Beer, my queen. I think this is a flamingo picture. We have Taylor Swift over here, so this was probably Lilia's doing. Another one of those triplets. There's the triplets again. There we have me, actually. Ariana Grande and Madison Beer. We have Jojo Siwa. We have James Charles. Fantastic. But yeah, this has kind of been destroyed, but it was such a cute, like, retro diner. I kind of want to build another diner, but yeah, this is kind of what it looked like. Of course, people were filling it with water as well. The diner was so mistreated for all the hype that people kind of like, for all the times people tried to convince. Why is there so many of them? For all the times people tried to convince me to remake it, they really just abused it once we had it. But yeah, this is the diner. I still have it because I'm scared to delete it because you guys will attack me again. Okay, next up we have the cake house. And this is obviously a cake house. I built this for my birthday last year and I think this is so cute. This is definitely one of my favorite builds. It's just so adorable. We have like all the cherries and the frosting and candles and everything. And then inside was all like the inside of a cake for the walls. We had like a chocolate kitchen. All of the kind of like furniture was themed around sweets and everything, and we had my birthday party over here. We had my beloved Bloxburg Tom in a pink party hat, as well as the Bloxburg elves and like little plushies and stuff. It was just very cute. Up here we had like a chocolate bed and everything. That's pretty much it for that plot. That is just my cake house. Then we have random Halloween, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't actually build any Halloween builds last year, so I don't actually know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, wait, so last year I started building a pumpkin house and then I never finished it, and I think it's so cute though. Like the shape and everything, it was basically the very rough structure of a pumpkin house. So maybe I'll finish it this year because I actually think this has some potential, but it was literally just, you know, the very rough start of one. Next we have starter home, and this is just the original Bloxburg starter home. And then we have classic family home, which is another old Bloxburg pre-built that isn't in the game anymore. But because I've had so many I've skipped over, I do just want to show one more old pre-built. And oh my gosh, once again, this is so dark inside because of all the lighting changes. We have like the kitchen and the dining room. I used to break into this house that people had so many times, but yeah, it's just a very old style Bloxburg pre-built. We have like a living room in here. There's like a bedroom and stuff. Once again, there was no light on the ceiling at this stage in the game. This was from so long ago, but that's pretty much it. It's just a very old house. Next we have glossette gardens. Now I did actually mention this in the racetrack kind of build. So this is glossette gardens here, and basically what glossette gardens was if you've watched my Christmas videos, obviously at the start of those I do a thing where I open the glossmas advent calendar and kind of give you guys a shout out each day. And originally I used to do this at the start of every video for a while. So what I would do is I have this heart-shaped garden and I would add everyone each video as a tulip glossette. So we had like Antonio, Nyla, Mary, Ari, we had a bunch of them. I would basically just add people onto this thing because I thought it'd be cute, but I kind of stopped doing it pretty quickly. But I do still have the plot. It's really cute. Maybe I'll end up using it. I don't know. I kind of want to bring back the tulip glossettes thing, but kind of do it on my community tab each week. So, you know, let me know if you guys want that. Next, we have a hotel, and I haven't actually built a hotel, but I do have a floor plan of one that I can't remember making at all. So it's just like a very basic hotel floor plan, and it's really annoying me because the floor at the front is not symmetrical at all. But yeah, maybe I'll build a hotel this year. I think it'd be kind of cool. I kind of want to do one around summertime, but I have a base there if I need to use it. Next, we have my starter home revamp. So this is actually the original build that Bandit and Riot were messing with at the start of this video. So this is what it's meant to look like. As you can see, it's adorable. I actually really want to revamp it again, like the starter home, because it was so fun. But this is the house. So if we go inside, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I need to build more houses. We have like a window seat. We have the dining table, the cozy little kind of living room in here. It's so adorable. The kitchen looks super cute. My favorite, the bedroom, looks very cozy too. I added like these bows on the drawers because I thought it was cute. So we have like a very nice house. Even the mirrors look really cute. We have a little bathroom. As you can tell, I kept the layout of the original pre-built pretty much, just kind of made it bigger, but honestly it's so cute. Maybe I'll do another one of these this year too. Oh, and next we have Island, and this is XOXO Island. So here we have it. This was my summer build from last year, XOXO Island. So we have, first of all, my incredible pirate ship. This is definitely up there with one of my favorite builds ever because it's so cute. Like, look at the skull and the sails and like all the details on the wood. I love it. We had like the kind of pirate captain office back here. Underneath we have all of the like hammocks for all the crew. I think this is the kitchen. Yeah, the kitchen's back here. It's just honestly so cool. I love how this came out, especially the cannons as well. But if we go over to the island, basically what we had over here was over at this bit, this is kind of like a treehouse survival bit. So we had like a tiki bar and like a shelter and things and some tree houses up there. But if we go around the back of the island, the whole thing is pretty much just trees, but the back obviously has the fat volcano you can see. So if we go around here, we have this beautiful little waterfall area. I love this bridge. I think this looks really peaceful, this kind of back area. But if we go up the steps, you can actually go inside of the volcano because I had basically like this obstacle course to the treasure. So you like hop over lava. There's a terribly built slide. Like, look at all this mess. There's like holes in this thing. What on earth is going on here? I did such a terrible job of like making a tube slide, but it goes down into a maze, and then this takes you to, where is it? This kind of like bit where you have to jump over the lava and get to the empty treasure chest. But that's kind of what was inside. This was a super fun build. I honestly had so much fun doing this. It was very interesting to build, but this is my little tropical island. Oh my gosh. Okay, next we have one of my favorite builds of all time, the ballet studio. This one is so good. Okay, I was so proud of this. Here we go. Oh my god, guys, this is so cute. I love it so much. I haven't been on this spot in so long, but starting over here, the little lake with all the custom swans I made, which was so adorable. And then of course we have the main ballet studio, and I love how these shoes came out. The idea was that the ribbons coming off the shoes would kind of like merge into the roof tiles and be like this ribbon roof, which I think looks pretty cool, but they just look so cute. And then if I show you quickly inside, we have like the reception area where you can buy ballet shoes and like a ballet tutu I made and stuff. Then we have the logo on the wall, and if we go in here, we have a bunch of studio space. So we have a studio in here which looks cute. We have another one in here. We have like changing rooms and like a break area. And then if we go upstairs, we have a stage area for performances and like kind of like a getting ready area backstage where there's like props and stuff. So that is basically it for the ballet studio, but I just love how the outside came out so much. Moving on, however, we only have around 8 plots left, so I think this is going to be pretty quick to get through. The next one is Cupid's Cakes. So the sign for this build has unfortunately been ruined by many Bloxburg lighting updates. Otherwise you'd be able to see my adorable little neon sign writing that says Cupid's Cakes. But this was basically a Valentine's cafe I made in the shape of a cupcake, and if we go inside, it is so overwhelming. I made the entire ceiling out of clouds, and then we have like a bunch of Valentine's decorations. My favorite part from this though is the chairs, because I made these to look like the, you know, the heart cookies in game. That is kind of what they're meant to look like. And then we have like the biscuit counter with a bunch of kind of Valentine's foods and stuff. And yeah, it's very bright, and like the kitchen and stuff, it was basically just a little cafe. Oh, next we have OG Bloxborough, and this is obviously my first Bloxburg pre-built I made, and this is actually the original plot too. This is the plot they took it from, and yeah, it's just basically my starter home. Obviously I'm not going to tour all of it because it's a pre-built, but I will show you up here in this room. I added, oh wait, wrong floor. This one here, I actually added a few Easter eggs in kind of like the kids room. So first of all, this black cat is actually based on my old cat Pumpkin. Then if we go over here, we also have a Bloxburg Tom doll, a Glossie doll, and a little Coeptus kind of doll down here. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be. And then we of course have the secret room too with the aliens in it and like the stars and stuff, but I added a few little secrets. I don't know if there was any more. Maybe I had some more like Easter eggs in like the other rooms. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I think it was just the kids room, but yeah, this is my pre-built. Next up we have Random, and I'm pretty sure this is like my 70s apartment plot. Okay, yes it is. You can tell by the fact that it looks atrocious from the outside in true Bloxburg apartment fashion. But we also have the princess in the pea bed I made at one point for a video, so we have this tall thing. But if we go in the actual apartment, this was very 70s inspired, I'm pretty sure. I love it in here. I love the little conversation pit for the sofa area. It looks so cute. I just love the vibes and everything. We have like the dining room. Oh my gosh, wait, I can replace this with like an actual more modern record player now. We have this though. We have the little kind of kitchen area, and then my favorite rooms are the bedroom and the bathroom. So this is a bedroom. I added like carpet up to the bed and everything, which I think just looks so good. And we had like these sanded ceilings, this really cool fireplace, which to look at now just kind of looks like an egg. And then the bathroom was very pink and green and very kind of wooden and retro, and I just loved how this came out. This is one of my favorite builds to this day, which which I feel like I'm saying about everything, but I mean it for this one, okay? I just thought it was really cool. Next, we have Lip Gloss Lagoon. Okay, we're down to like the final 5, finally. So here we have Lip Gloss Lagoon, and this was one of my series that I didn't finish. Absolute shocker. Who would have thought that Glossie wouldn't finish a series? But I think this was from summer 2024, and it was basically meant to be a beach town. So I was gonna have like a beach area here and a lighthouse and stuff. But the only 2 buildings I did was, first of all, Gelato La Gloss, my ice cream store, which had like ice cream on the roof and everything, which I think is pretty cute from the outside, but the inside is kind of just like a bit too much. We had like different custom ice cream flavors and stuff, and like seating upstairs and everything. And then the second one I did on this was Gloopy Juice 2.0. So this was my smoothie store, which I actually think looks really cool inside. So what I did was I had like a custom tiled counter, and then for the walls I sat and I made custom fruit for ages. So we had like kiwis, blueberries, dragon fruit, cherries and stuff, mangoes. I think this is really cool. Like, I loved how the interior of this was, and the fruit took me so long, but that's all I did. So maybe I'll do something similar this summer. I'm not too sure, but yet another series I didn't complete. Then next we have Grow a Garden, which of course was my Bloxburg Grow a Garden plot. So I had like Glossie's garden down here, and then I made a bunch of Grow a Garden kind of plants. So we have like the Bone Blossom, we have, I can't remember the rest of them because it's been so long since I played, but like we had the Beanstalk, the Candy Blossom. I honestly think this is really cute. Like some plants and stuff down here. I haven't played Grow a Garden in so long, but yeah, this was definitely a cute little build. Okay, 3 more to go. The next one is All Food in Game Vid, which is very self-explanatory. It's basically from the video I did last year where I made every food in the game. So we have like all the quick meals, the take ingredients, all of like the fruit and vegetables and items around the map, and like limited foods and stuff. I basically have absolutely everything on here, but I think it's slightly outdated now, but that was pretty much what this is. I have so many food related plots, it's kind of insane. Next we have Alexia build off, which was when me and the lovely Hey Alexia actually did a school classroom build off. So I did a chemistry classroom over here, which feels very, you know, British secondary school core, not gonna lie, but this is what this looked like. I think it was pretty cute. And then Alexia's was this adorable little baking classroom. She had like custom food and everything. We have like croissants and stuff, custom cake and like custom rolling pins and everything. It was so cute. But this is what hers look like, and that is pretty much it for this plot, which means last but not least, we're on to the final plot, and the plot that I use the most by far, which is just called Update. And this is pretty much the plot that I use for all of my update videos, and I'll kind of just spawn in if I'm not like working on another plot or anything. So this is my most used one, and it's pretty much empty right now because I normally have like a bunch of update stuff, but obviously there hasn't been an update this month yet, so it's kind of empty and prepared. I have my favorite cars, so I have my first ever Bloxburg vehicle, my convertible, then I have one of the limos, and I have 2 motorbikes, a gift wrapping station, a counter for food in update videos, so I have like a counter, a fridge, some appliances, then I have a New Year's cake, I have a gingerbread house, I have a ham for some reason, then I have my jacuzzi and my TV for my moods, and of course I have 2 gloss bossing flags, and that is it. That is all of my plots, all toured, except ones I can't show you guys yet because they're a secret. And that is it for the plot tours video. Oh my god, I feel like this one's going to be so much longer than last time, but I tried to kind of minimize my yapping, but that is pretty much it. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed my plots, and I will see you all later. As per usual, a huge shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for joining the channel, and my night boosters. Thank you so much for boosting the Discord server, and my merch buyers. Thank you so much for buying the merch, but I will see you all later. I love you all so much, glossettes. XOXO, Glossy Girl.